Well, hello my fine gardening friends, how the devil are you? Welcome to a bit of a misty, murky morning here in beautiful Nova Scotia. I think it's going to turn into a bit of a scorcher later once the mist lifts. But at the moment there's a bit of a damp feel and those pesky black flies are out. So I better carry on with this video. We're in July, so I thought I'd do a few different videos actually, this being the first of them, of different jobs you can do in the garden in July, whether it be in the veg garden at the moment or in the flower garden or in the greenhouse. So I thought I'd do a few little 5, and I know YouTube seems to like the numbers routine, so we're doing 5 jobs you can do in the veg garden to keep your veg garden in good condition in July. And excuse me. And I might even throw more than 5 in, you never know. We'll just make it up as I go along and I'll stop when I've run out of ideas. So, July. We might be thinking we're sort of resting on our laurels now and, you know, starting to harvest all the fruits of our labours over the last few months. Peas are starting, here peas are a bit late. I've got garlic going and bush beans coming, strawberries are plenty. But no, let's not just rest on our laurels, and the gardener shouldn't really ever rest on their laurels except for the odd half an hour admiring their flowers or fruits, etc. So in July there is still lots of things to do, so let's get on with it, shall we? Number 1. So number 1 on my list of jobs to do, and that doesn't actually mean it's, you know, the number 1 job you need to do, but number 1 in this video anyway, is brassica plants. You want to be checking on the underneath, on the leaves of brassica plants like this kale or cabbage or broccoli, things like that, checking for cabbage white butterfly. And they're normally cabbage white butterfly eggs, that is, and they'll normally lay them underneath the plants in a cluster, and you can see that they're yellow, normally a yellowy colour, small cluster of very small as well to start with, of eggs. And you want to get them, if you see them, just sort of run your finger over the top of them and crush them. I know it's a bit yucky, but it's better than them decimating brassicas as they can. As you can see in that picture, the effects of a couple of caterpillars once they start munching is devastating to brassicas. You know, obviously you can net them in a bed, but this is a bit of a mixed bed, and you know, I've got kale and tomatoes and onions and all sorts of different things in here, so it makes it a bit more difficult for me to actually net my plants. So I'll just make sure I go around checking for the butterfly eggs. So that's number 1 on, you know, it's a quite easy job. Number 1 on the list, check for cabbage white butterfly eggs and just give them a quick brush over it, squash them, and jobs are good. So number 2 on my list of things to do is keep on top of the weeding. You know, weeds, there's a lot of rain we have had recently here in Nova Scotia, and you know, weeds will still be growing just as strongly as all the rest of the plants, so you've got to keep on top of them, whether it be using, you know, in this sort of high raised bed, use this little pouring implement that I can just take the roots, the top of the roots off of these plants and just run it along, because they're competing with obviously all the water and the nutrients the same as your other plants. So this is a good tool, or using a hoe like this one, and I just run that across just underneath the surface of the bed, and that takes the roots of the different weeds out. You don't see this very often in North America, but this is actually my number 1 weeding tool. Absolutely superb, as you can see, and I can just run it across just underneath the bed, the surface of the bed, et voila, and it just takes the plant's heads off. Great tool. So whatever you're using, keep on top of the weeds. Now July is normally the month that I'll be harvesting my garlic, and I would imagine most of you will, depending on how northern you are. You may have harvested your garlic already. I am only just about to harvest this scapes that are, you know, the flower on the garlic, that are a great addition to your garlic plant. But normally towards the end of July I'll be harvesting garlic, and you can tell that the garlic needs to be harvested by the fact that the leaves will start to yellow, and then the garlic stalk will start to sort of fall over. So that is always a good idea, so keep an eye out for that happening, especially, you know, these leaves. I normally wait till there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 leaves have started to brown off, you know, quite readily, and then that's me knowing, right, time to pull the garlic and dry it off, which we'll come to in another video. But July, keep an eye out on your garlic, and if you haven't harvested your scapes, then get harvesting once they've turned over in a circle like that. I was just waiting till tomorrow, till I go into work, and I'm going to give them to a friend. So I think I'll do these today. But harvest your garlic. And the same thing can be said about your onions as well. They will start, their leaves will start to brown off, but you can really tell with onions because there will be a marked fall over of the actual plant, where here at the base of the actual onion plant there, it will sort of collapse and the leaves will fall over. So you can definitely really tell with the onion plant with the old toppling over. The garlic is more the browning of the leaves, especially those 4 or 5 bottom leaves. Onions really have a good toppling over. So keep an eye on that, and again, you can pull them out once that's toppled over and let them start to dry off a bit. There we go. What's that, 3? Or was it 4? Anyway, we'll say 4 is next. So my runner beans here are not particularly tall at the moment. As I keep saying, you know, I've been a bit behind this year, and a lot of my stuff is behind, but they're starting to grow up the runners now. But you want to make sure that they are growing up the actual runners that you need them to grow up, and if need be, tie them in. But other plants, other tall plants in the veg garden, like your tomatoes, will need to be tied in to make sure that they're sort of climbing up whatever stake or fence line that you've got. So keep an eye on your different tomato plants. You don't want them falling over and breaking. Just give them a little bit of support, and they'll grow up nice and happily in, you know, where you've got them here. So that's number 4. Number 5 is, in fact, let's come round here and have a look a bit closer. So number 5. Now my outside tomatoes are obviously not doing growing as strongly as my greenhouse tomatoes. As you can see, they're growing up like hand over fist at the moment, but they are starting to grow, and like I said, we want to tie them in, which I'll be tying this one in when it gets a little bit higher. But also, I like to grow my tomatoes on one stem. You don't have to do this, but you know, this is the way I like to do it. So if you want them to grow, put all their strength into growing up this single stem and the flowers on that single stem, we need to make sure we are removing the suckers that grow off in between the main stalk and an actual leaf branch there. So we just pull that sucker off, and then this plant will be growing nice all the way up, and all of its strength will be growing into the flowers and hence the fruit on that single stem. So, et voila. Make sure you take off all your side shoot runners. Number 5. Let's have a bonus one, shall we? Actually, we'll call this one 5.5. I've just seen another side shoot. Also, what we want to do is make sure these leaves, any leaves that are sort of dangling in the earth, we want to cut them off, because they are more prone to disease, like that one is, from splashback from the earth, etc. And you know, we want to keep as much as is possible any leaves that are possibility of dangling into the earth, cut them off. So this sort of one, I can cut that halfway, and this one here halfway. Obviously we don't want to get rid of all of the leaves, otherwise it won't be able to grow, but anything that's dangling in the earth, keep that away, and then the plant is less likely to catch any diseases. Right, now we're on to the bonus one. So we're into July and plants are growing strongly now. So we want to help them, you know, to keep growing strongly. They're taking up nutrients from the soil, and hopefully at the start of the season or last autumn you put a nice layer of compost over the bed to sort of feed the soil, and that's what we're trying to do, is feed the soil. But if you know, even if you did that, plants are still, you know, hungry plants like tomatoes here, cucumbers, courgettes, pumpkins, etc. are all very hungry feeders and taking up lots of food from the soil. And especially if you've got things like tomatoes, etc., or anything growing in a pot, there's only a finite amount of food in that soil. So we want to make sure that we're feeding them throughout the season, and mid-season now you should be doing it every week. And I basically have an organic seaweed feed that I actually put into mine. So I've got some water in here, and I give it a bit of a 1-in-4 mix, but you could be any tomato feed, etc. Just make sure you're giving your plants a good feed once a week to help them grow strongly, and they will no doubt repay you back in spades with lots of lovely fruit. So there we go, 5 or 6 different jobs you can do in the garden in July. Hopefully if you do those jobs, they can help you going forward in the next few months, and I'm looking forward to over the next few months in harvesting these beautiful onions who are looking very good this year. I'm still into my strawberries at the moment, hand over fist. Lots of other things in the veg garden, lots of things to be doing in July, just keeping on top like I said, and hopefully you'll be doing the same. So I think I'm going to do a bit more weeding, then I'm going to enjoy the sun as it comes out and go for a nice walk around one of our beautiful local towns called Chester. Anyway, that's enough about me. Happy Sunday. Job's a good one.